I'm Scott Beam. They call me the old farmer. You know, angle grinders. This one happens to be a drill master. This one happens to be in a Hitachi. And most of the discs you use are about this thick, which is thick enough to do the job, that's for sure. Let's see, the 7/8 one. They're calling it a 1/4 inch disc thickness. But what happens if you run across one like this? It's a 1/16 of an inch. You put it on your angle grinder and it spins like a top. Stay tuned. I'll show you a little trick that maybe the old duffers know, but people who only use an angle grinder occasionally may not be aware of. I'm Scott Beam. They call me the old farmer. A couple of weeks ago, Mrs. Old Farmer visited her sister, Sister Old Farmer. Sister Old Farmer had a trellis on the side of her porch. It was falling apart. Mrs. Old Farmer looked the situation over and they went to the local tractor supply. The decision was to cut down a cattle panel to the proper size. I sent Mrs. Old Farmer a bucket of tools, including an angle grinder. They wanted to change disc after grinding about halfway through the cuts. I had sent a pack of Harbor Freight cutting wheels. They are about a 1/16 of an inch thick. The arbor could not tighten down enough. The disc spun like a top with the arbor nut tightened all the way down. When they tried using it, it did a number on one of the Hercules discs. They gave up and Mrs. Old Farmer brought the project home so that I could work on it. It only took a few minutes to finish cutting the cattle panel to dimensions. However, the question still remains how to use these Harbor Freight Hercules 4.5 inch by 1/16 inch discs. I never claimed to be an expert, just more knowledgeable than your typical Uncle Bob. Except this time, maybe Uncle Bob knew more than I did about angle grinders. Oh, I know how to safely use one, but I only use one occasionally. I called Harbor Freight's support line. They had no adapter for this problem. I asked if Harbor Freight offered an angle grinder that would work with this disc. The answer was no. I then went up and searched all the Hercules angle grinders for one that could handle a 1/16 thick disc. None of the specifications said that any Hercules could use a 1/16 inch grinding wheel. In fact, I checked most of the Bauer line and did not find anything that would work. Harbor Freight apparently did not offer an angle grinder that could use a Hercules 1/16 thick grinding disc. I started playing around with the arbor nut and saw that there was a ridge near the center of the nut. I checked the arbor. It had a ridge too. So I flipped the nut over so that the ridge was on the outside and found out that both the Hitachi and the Drill Master could grip the disc. I wouldn't advise using washers as spacers unless it fits the arbor snugly. Otherwise, it could slip and become unbalanced, and you could lose control of the tool. But if your angle grinder's arbor nut is flat on one side, chances are very good it will be able to grip a 1/16 inch grinding wheel. The old duffers out there knew this. They're probably laughing their heads off. But for the rest of us who only occasionally use an angle grinder, we may not know this. Now we do. Well, this is the old farmer, Scott Beam. Be well.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.